Hello, good morning, and welcome to today's morning report with me, Richard Perry, market analyst at Handtech Markets on Wednesday, the 19th of November. The European markets have started a little bit negatively, actually. They threaten to be, certainly in the futures and the spread betting pre-market, they threaten to be slightly higher, but they've sort of turned a little bit negative. And I'll show you in a minute when I do my chart of the day that actually that's come at a key resistance level, certainly on the DAX anyway. And there might be a slight bit of hesitation as these markets approach key breakout levels, but certainly there's a little bit of consolidation, you could argue, around the open. That sort of followed on from an Asian market that just moved in a mixed fashion after the BOJ stood pat on monetary policy. No real change there, and I think the investors are now, or traders are now, looking forward towards these Bank of England meeting minutes, and probably, and more importantly, the FOMC minutes tonight. So it could be, certainly signs are that maybe a little bit of a consolidation day in front of those key minutes this evening. Wall Street actually closed fairly reasonably positive yesterday, pushing higher about 0.5% on the S&P 500, 43rd record closing high of the year. But as I said, the outlook for the European trading has been reasonably neutral to slightly negative. In terms of forex trading, though, this choppy nature of the dollar index continues to play out. It doesn't really seem to get any real traction either way at the moment. It's up one day, down the next, and lo and behold, once again we've had yesterday down day, and today it looks like the dollar is fighting back. It's pretty much up against all the major forex currencies, with the exception of a slightly stronger euro today. But it certainly looks like this choppy trading with the dollar continues. Maybe it's looking out for a lot of key data towards the end of the week on the dollar. So certainly these FOMC minutes tonight could well be the big driver that starts off another run for the dollar. Yes, as I said, the Bank of England meeting minutes are first up at 9:30. 7.2 expected on the spread of MPC members on their voting structure, although there is a slight risk, I think, that one or maybe even two of Martin Wheel and Ian McCafferty could move back into the dovish camp of holding rates flat, and it'll be very interesting to see when those minutes come out whether that is the case. Also interesting tonight again will be the FOMC minutes, out at 7 o'clock this evening, and they will be watched because the FOMC gave a slightly dovish shift in terms of outlook and voting structure. Narayana Kocherlakota actually voting for continued quantitative easing. So it'll be interesting to see how the debate went in terms of how that vote goes this evening. And before that, you've actually got a little bit of housing data for the States this afternoon at 1:30, and you've got the building permits, which are forecast to slightly increase to 1.04 million, and also the housing starts 1.03 million. So both, as you can see, both charts are rather similar, showing a strong trend higher, although a little bit more erratic in the last few months this year, but certainly there seems to be a trend of improving housing building in the States. But that takes me on to my chart today, which is the DAX. And as said earlier, that the DAX has just failed to break out, and it actually came right at that high. 9467 was the high, and 9467 has been the high that we've seen in early trading today, and that is sort of marking of a breakout that would be the marking of a breakout of a range trade, about 320 pips of depth in that range. So if it broke out above 9467, that would give us a upside target around about 9780 on the upside. So that would be seen, but at the moment, as I said in the morning report, this RSI on the hourly chart is up at 70, and just interesting because if it does break out and it'll be interesting to see if the RSI continues to remain around 70, because previously throughout this range, and actually throughout since the bottom, actually the RSI has continually failed around that 70 mark, which could suggest that once again we could get a bit of consolidation around this mark. So I think one to watch there. Also, the hourly stochastics are rolling over, and to a certain extent the MACD line. So interesting to see if we do actually get the breakout on this chart. In terms of the daily, this is back on the daily chart, and you can see this range here. If we do break out, the initial resistance, I suppose, comes around about that 9,600 mark, which is an old key low. Key pivot level actually overhead, but as I said, the target does give us quite a nice 320 pip upside move if we do see the breakout. In terms of the support within the range, if I just zoom in quickly, you've got the initial level of support that comes in around that 9,400 mark, and then once again around the 9,300. And also 9,350. So there are a few levels of support, basically within 50 pips of each other within the band. And as I said, just watch out for this RSI just rolling over. If it does start to roll over and just starts to fall away, then maybe the DAX will once again be starting to correct back within that range. But yeah, the initial move certainly is still okay in terms of this run higher over the past couple of days. We've had two very strong candles, actually, two very strong green candles, which certainly suggests that the upside momentum has been building. But just an initial failure around that high just makes it a little bit more uncertain as to what the next move is going to be. Anyway, I wish you good luck in your trading on the DAX today, and I'll speak to you later. Thank you.